10:59 and counting. We usually start at 11 o'clock, but let's get started. What do you say? Good morning. Good morning. Top of that morning. Oh, I tell you, I'm here this morning to welcome y'all and confirm for you that you made the right decision to come here this morning and be with us. I think on this day that where we're going to go further into the love topics. All morning, all month, we've been talking about loving out loud. And Reverend Moore and Julie's did their first, that second time. Here, Julie's going to do this talk today. You can't miss this. I'm so glad you're here. Why don't you just, let's take about 5 minutes and everybody call their friend on the phone. Say, get down here. Reverend Julie's talking. Yeah. Oh, I tell you. So before we get started, let me ask, is there anyone visiting us for the very first time? I know there is a wonderful person back here just met. Hello. We have a little packet of good stuff for you. Did she already get it? Yes, she's got it. Okay. Take a look at that magazine in there and take that home and read it. That's a lot of good stuff in there. We'll have a reading from that from our good friend Jim in a little bit. So I'm glad you got that. Before we get started on music and everything else, I want to cover some. I do want to cover some announcements you need to know about. You know what today is, really? The reason that you came on a good day, this is Soup Day. Yeah, Super Day. All you need is a $100 bill and we'll let you have a soup. If you don't have a $100 bill, it's free. We usually like at least $3, but just come on in and enjoy. We've got bread to go with it, everything you'd ever want. And I want to talk about something real quick. Right after we have our soup, and starting at 1 o'clock, we're starting our fall class. It's called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. And it really is a good one. It's one that Reverend Julie's taught before. I've sat in on 2 of those I can think of. I've never taught it, but I'll be helping her out with that too. And the thing about it, we have it set up so that it's only $20 a class. If you decide to pay right up front for all 6 of them, 6 classes, 6 Sundays, $100. And of course, if you would like to take the class and think, you know what, I need this class, but I don't have that in my wallet right now, we'll work something out. We want you in on that class. Come on in and join us. Anything else I need to talk about on that, Julie? Cover anything at all? What else? What are we going to do besides talk about change your thinking, change your life? A lot of things, aren't we? Yes. Well, we don't need to talk about it now. Okay.
We'll talk about it in class.
We'll talk about it in class. Okay. Confidential prayer requests. That's our specialty here. You got something on your mind, on your heart, on your life that you would like to let us know about, would like to have a prayer about, would like to have some input about. Just look in the front of your pews there. You'll see a little place where it has a couple little papers in there. We call them prayer request papers. You can write that out, and when the offering comes around, drop it in the offering, and it goes right directly to the office and goes right directly into confidential, a spot there where only Reverend Julie, myself, Reverend Moore, or all of our practitioners are the ones who see that. And we'll take it into hand, and we'll take it into prayer for you particularly. If you need prayer in person, you want to talk to someone about that, just buttonhole any of these people with a, Donna, do you have your stole on here? That a lady like that, anybody wearing that stole right back here in the back, get a hold of me, get a hold of Reverend Julie. Anybody, if you want somebody to talk to about a prayer right away today, let us know. We'll go. Oh. Claire Fuller. Yes, we are back. Hello, Claire. We sorry we went on with service without you, Claire, while you were gone.
She insisted on taking the stairs, but one by one, not by an elevator.
Okay. Oh, no kidding. That's good. Thank you, Shannon. You went and picked her up, right? Shannon is the Uber of Woodland Chapel for the people who need it. Okay. Let's see. We have children we take care of. If you have a child or someone who's got a friend with a child needs to come be in the service and they need that child taken care of and know a little bit about what our philosophy is all about, just bring that child. We can take care of that child. Science of Mind magazine. Yep, we've got copies for sale in the library too. Man, that's a good magazine. Okay, why don't we sing a song? What do you say? Yeah.
We have a new song to introduce today
good.
about love. Thought it was the perfect Sunday for that.
In the
Love is
program.
My Decision by Daniel Nahmod.
Ooh, yeah.
Easy song. Stand, of course. It's a nice 1, 2, 3 beat, so if you want to dance along with me, as we can. Love is my decision, my decision to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here, right now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here, right now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. And love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here, right now. Love is my decision right here, right now.
Time to decide.
I'm going to stand back from the mic because I do have a little problem with me. And he likes to move around, so I will stay here. But let us now all get our minds and hearts open and perhaps close your eyes and just for a moment realize that God is all there is, and all there is God. So you are God, I am God, and everything we see and touch is of God. But I also know that there is some disease in the world, and there are people suffering from it. And I send out to them my love, my strength, and my blessing. And I know that those who are here this morning will hear what they need to hear and see and feel what they need to see and feel. And I love you all, and I thank you for being here, and absorbing the love from all of us. And I release these words into the law of love, knowing that the answer is always yes, but maybe not the way we saw it, but the answer is always yes. And I release these words now with love. Join me in saying, and so it is. And we have an affirmation, and if I can find it, yes, I can see that. Join me in speaking the affirmation. Believing that healing our planet starts with one mind, one heart, one action, I now commit myself to weave my actions in conscious, focused love, doing the work our world needs. I contribute to empowering myself and all people to lead our best lives, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
And may I ask your assistance to take us both
Absolutely,
down?
absolutely. To lead our best lives. So it is. Bye, Ronnie. Well, we like to, at this time, have a reading. And that's Jim. He'll be here very shortly. We call him Sauntering Jim.
I have a natural limp anymore. The title of today's inspirational reading is Unveil the Infinite Places of Knowing. A poem by Brenda Arledge reads, meeting others from all walks of life teaches us lessons. As we trip and fall upon a crooked path, eventually learning our footsteps are not meant to be there, we pick ourselves up hoping to get it right, starting our journey once more with one foot in front of the other. With trial and error knocking at our door until an aha moment appears, making everything crystal clear, showing us the road we're meant to travel. Keeping our faith intact, we grasp the hand of God, letting Him guide us along the journey. Stephanie Banks states, clarity is the moment we see without opening our eyes. From the science of mind, it is stated, so if we have to make a choice and feel we do not know which or what to choose, we must be still in our own consciousness and know that the Spirit within us knows which of these ways is the right and most constructive way. I once heard that an aha moment is not the first time you're exposed to the paradigm shift that just gave you pause and opened your mind to a new revelation. It's more like the 10,000th time. The only distinction is that in the moment of the aha, your resistance lessened enough that you could finally hear it. That makes me smile. I guess because it feels equal parts absurdly funny and true. We're taught that there's nothing new under the sun. We say creation is finished metaphysically. The solution already exists. Our part in manifestation is accepting the intangible from the infinite field of intelligence and see it as tangible in our life. We recognize, as motivational writer Marie Forleo succinctly encouraged, that everything is figure-outable. The aha moment is an advancement in clarity. Clarity exists on many levels. There's clarity of sound, clarity in a photograph, clarity around instructions from others. There's mental clarity, a renewed focus experienced after times of indecision. There's clarity of spirit. We're enlightened by seeing that to love is not to fix, rescue, or attempt to do another's growth for them. This educates and redirects our energy to not place our own well-being above in place of another. There's even a level of clarity beyond what we currently understand. clarity in the deepest sense of our knowing. It is, as Ernest Holmes described, that place where there is no disbelief, no doubt, no uncertainty, where I know and I know that I know. Each aha moment unveils the infinite place of knowing that rests inside us. And today's affirmation, I am in partnership with clarity and peace of mind. Thank you.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and I see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. It's a love that heals, a love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Join us now. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. One more time. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Beautiful. And so it is.
Thank you, Annie. Yes, there is only love. that heals us and sets us free. So I am so glad that Ronnie was here this morning. Ronnie is the little our little critter friend today, and I love that they're welcome here, because when we talk about there only being one life, it includes everything. And what I have discovered from being a pet servant for most of my life, that everything has some kind of feelings, and deeper if we pay attention. So I'm so glad they're welcome here. So our theme this month is love, and today our talk is about work. And if you read in the bulletin, it says Love Made Visible, but I thought a better title might be Take This Job and Love It. I know, Blaine, you have a song probably go with that, don't you? So a few years ago, my husband Paul went to Ireland for a family reunion. He went with his sister, and they were out walking one day and along a park, and they saw these two beggars sitting on a bench. And one was holding like a cross, and the other was holding a Star of David. And people walked by, and they had their hats so that people could put money in it, and people would walk by and just kind of turn up their nose at the Star of David. And in fact, the one that had the cross was getting more money because it just kind of, I think they just felt a little obstinate about that. I don't know their motivations, really. I'm interpreting that. So soon the hat of the guy that had the cross was really full, and the one that had the Star of David hardly had any money in it at all. And so this priest came walking by, and he said, this is a Catholic country. You're probably not going to get very much money if you're going around wearing a Star of David. And so the man turns with the Star of David to his friend, and he says, Moshe, can you imagine that Goy is trying to tell us how to run our business? Love your work. So one time I read, not too long ago, The Secrets of a Longer Life. We're always reading Secrets of a Longer Life somewhere along the way. And aside from our family history and how we take care of ourselves and how we exercise and how we eat and all that and what we don't do, the findings in the study were really interesting, because they said one of the main reasons that people live longer is work satisfaction. And when people enjoy what they're doing, because if you have a job, or regardless of what we do, we're doing something that what we are doing actually makes us feel happy or joyful, or at least not super stressed. And it can be paid work, or it can be work in our home, it can be volunteered work, it can be whatever. But as long as what we're doing, and usually we're talking about a job of some sort, that job brings us some kind of joy. I have a really good friend who's minister at the Unity of Beaverton, and I help her out over there once a week. And they have a food pantry, and it was started by this one member of the congregation many, many years ago. And so what she has now, she's retired and she really can't get around she has this food pantry. And it's the love work of her life. And it is the one thing that really keeps her going. That she would say without that work that she has, it's a work of service, of course, she wouldn't have too many reasons to really enjoy life that she's got. So literally, the key ingredient to living a longer life is enjoying your work, whatever that is. And so I wonder how many of you, if I ask you to raise your hand, would say, Julie, I don't think I'm going to live that long, maybe not till the end of the service. I'll probably be gone. But yeah, so we have choices, when you're talking about love in the songs this morning, we have choices. And the choices are like, well, we can, number one, find something to do that we love, that we absolutely love. Something that, and you've heard this so much, that you love so much you would do it without getting paid for it. And, that's ideal. That's ideal. And I think some of us have that. I've done that when I've done ministry when I began without getting much paid for it. But I loved it, and I had a passion, and it fed me, and it was a wonderful thing to do. And, it moved along, and I did ultimately get paid for what I love. Or the other thing is make a decision that we can like what we do. And to do it with as much love as possible. Now, and I'm going to talk about Jesus here for a minute. I could talk about lots of guys, but I think we all know Jesus. So, not personally, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, in one of his teachings, you remember he said, if somebody asks for a cloak, give them their cloak, and then give them your other, whatever other garment you can spare. Remember that story? And then when they talk about these stories, they're always talking about the Pharisees. I don't know how biblical literate we are here. Anyway, the Pharisees in Scripture are always getting slammed. They're always getting slammed. And I got to tell you, one of the reasons they're always getting slammed is because they didn't write the Scriptures. And it might have been the other way around, and we would not be calling them the bad guys. But because, they were very legalistic, and they had to do exactly, this is the gossip that is in Scriptures, and I'm telling you, a lot of gossip in the Scriptures if you read it very much. And so I'm going to inspire you to probably go home and read it, right? So the Pharisees were legalistic, and they did all the right things, and they didn't do any more than they had to, and they followed the letter of the law. So they got a lot of criticism for that. Well, it was, bottom line, you guys, I want to tell you what I think is underneath all that. You know how we have different religions and we criticize the people who are doing it differently? So I want to defend them a little bit. But anyway, that's how they showed up in the Gospels. So Jesus taught in the Sermon on the Mount that we don't do just the letter of the law, what's required of us, because then what extra credit do we get for that? But if someone says, walk a mile, we walk the extra mile. And so I'm going to say that can probably apply to relationships too. It can probably apply to just about everything in our life. If we're asked to walk a mile, Jesus said, walk that extra mile. Well, there was kind of a reason for that. There was a law in Rome at the time. The Romans were ruling over the Jewish people, and they had a law that said if some soldier, it'd be like if I went up to, I'm a Roman soldier, and I went up to Donna and I said, okay, I see that you're going somewhere, drop what you're doing, you need to carry my suitcase the next mile for me. And he would have to do that. It was actually a law. So Jesus said, well, if you're required to go that mile, go the extra mile. Well, I think he meant in that we do the extra, beyond what we're required to do. And it also could have meant that they were only allowed to walk a mile. See, they did have a little bit of compassion somewhere in the Roman rules. And if they went the extra mile, the soldier could get really punished. So I don't know really the motivation behind this. But anyway, if they walked that extra mile, they really were noticed and they made a difference. So how does that second mile principle work in our life? How does that really work in our life? When we're talking about the wisdom of the Gospels, Jesus also said this. He said, be faithful in little things in order that you may rule over many things. That if we're not faithful in the little things that we're called to do, if we're just like too good to do that, then how can we be called to do something more, to be faithful in whatever it is that we're required to do? Because there really isn't any little or big. There's things that get acknowledged more, but there really isn't any little or big. So we're not to live life by the measuring rod, always seeing what we can get, but to give more than is actually expected. This is what we're talking about, is work made visible in love, or love made visible through work. See, we talk about love being so important, love being the main power. But there are places where we may not think we take love, right? Do we take love to our work? Do we take love to our volunteer? Do we take love to our whatever it is that we're doing with somebody else? See, we can't walk that second mile until we've walked the first. And this calls us to do something deeper, to do something greater. See, what we see ordinary people like, then we see ordinary people like you and I doing extraordinary things. Or extraordinary things done by people like you and I. So, what does that mean? To take love. Gosh, that word, what does that mean? You know, love is not always a feeling. We think of love as being a feeling. I love you. Oh my gosh. But love is not a feeling. It can be a feeling, but it is a choice. It is a choice we make on how we do things. And love is the most powerful energy in the universe. Every one of us here today want to be loved. Every one of us. Underneath our motivations for all sorts of things is to be loved. What is this to be liked? You know, how often do we do that? How children, when they are not loved, don't function well. Love is the most powerful force, and it can literally transform everything. And I challenge us today to take this, particularly as we're talking about in work, whatever it is our work to do. To love what we're doing. I'm going to tell you a story about she's actually a really good friend of mine, but she was, when she was young, her husband died of a drug overdose, and she had a son. And she had a high school education, but she went to work as a waitress. And what she told me was before she served anyone, before she met anyone, she did a prayer. She did a prayer that they would enjoy what they're doing, that it would be a wonderful experience for everyone. And she told me that things always worked super well for her. And on top of that, she made a lot of money in tips. Because we don't have to say the words. It's an energy. It's an energy that goes out from us because we are surrounded by an energy field. We extend beyond our body. And you know, that energy field can be very closed in, or it can be expansive. And what is in that energy field, the power that is in that energy field, actually goes out, it touches and affects. And if you just think, oh, well, this is church talk, try it. Make an experience, because Ernest Holmes said, try everything, prove it to yourself. It's not real for us until we prove it to ourselves. No theology is real for us until we prove it for ourselves. No teaching. So oh my God, she's one of the people I admire so much. So she worked sometimes 2 jobs, and then because she did so well, she had such good reference, she met somebody at the restaurant who then gave her a job. She ended up working for an automobile company, and another job where she got paid more, and she had bonuses, and she had it was a union job and all this. So she was really good, because she did work for me. She did volunteer work for me, and she in our church, and she did everything so wonderfully well, and with so much graciousness. So I watched her over the years. I just went to see her not too long ago. She has this gorgeous house. I mean, it is beautiful, and it's new, and it's just wonderful. And I am so happy for her because I admire her so much, because how she got there. You know, there were a lot to complain about in her life if she wanted to look at it that way. But she focused, she had a child to take care of. She focused on how to do what she needed to do. And I think that's the key. Where are we putting our focus? You know, there's no lack because of inflation or the economy or any of that. Because if that were true, no one would have anything. We can't put our focus on those things. We put our focus on where we're going, and we do what we do with the greatest amount of love, and we walk that extra mile. And it will come back to us, but coming back to us is not why we do it, is it? It is not why we do it. See, it's not any of those things, like the economy or all of that, because you guys, Spirit or God or however you want to call this creative source, I think it's bigger than the government. I think it's bigger than the banks. I think it's bigger than our psychology that makes things do what they do. Would you agree with me on that? The Spirit is bigger than that. And when we tune into that energy that is bigger than, and stay focused on that is bigger than, and make that a part of our life, then that is where our life will express. When I started my first ministry, oh my God, I was so excited. I was just a bundle of enthusiasm and energy, and it was so exciting. And we had this tiny little group. And so we were meeting in a jazzercise place. I've told some of you this before. We were meeting in this jazzercise building because that's where we could rent for $400 a month. And this is true. The heat didn't work in the winter, and the air conditioning didn't work in the summer. And we had a teen group that met in the broom closet. We'd come early and take everything out of the broom closet. And the teen group, then we had one other room for the younger kids. So we were growing, and we were paying $400 a month, right? And this is a brand new church. So our team, which happened to be very good prosperity-minded people, including the gal that I just told you about, we decided we had to move, so we were looking for somewhere else. And if anybody has looked for houses or anything else, you know, you just keep looking. And so we found this place perfect, $2,000 a month. And then the second year would go up to $2,500 a month. Now, we were paying $400, and we were new. But where were we going? You know, and I did ask, I will say, I usually am really confident about these kind of decisions. If I believe they're right, then I just step into them. But this one was with somebody else's money other than just mine. So I did ask for a sign. I have to say, you know my sign, if those of you have heard me before, a burning bush. Because I always want to make sure that it's clear and I can't misinterpret it. And so I thought, okay, if we're to spend, because that's a big leap of money, and it's all tithing. You know, we didn't have a building to rent. We didn't have any source of money, so it's all tithing, and it's a big leap. So I did ask for, I just felt like it was right, but I did ask for a sign. And I went to a class that evening, and I opened up this book, and I swear to God it had a parable of the burning bush, the story of the burning bush. I have done that 4 times, and so I have utter and complete and total faith. And I don't waste those. You know, I save them for the biggies that come along. So we did, and it worked. And it absolutely worked. When we keep our focus, when we love what we're doing, when we make love our main thing, and what we're doing is meeting needs, then somehow the amazing things happen. And we keep our focus on where we're going. Keeping our focus on where we're going. I want to read you something, but I'm going to save it here. So there's this, I did read a story I have to share with you. I thought it was really cute. So this little girl, her dad comes home from work, and he's always bringing his briefcase and all of his work. And she said, "You're at work all day. How come you're bringing your work home?" He said, "Well, I can never get it all done at work." And she said, "Well, Dad, here's what I think is the problem. I think you're in the wrong group. I think you need to be moved down to another group." Yeah. So does all this just make sense that we're talking about work and we're talking about what if you have a boss that's driving you crazy, or you're working in a committee with someone that is totally annoying? It's not us, but we're with somebody that's totally annoying. What if our children are having big problems, or we don't know what to do with school? I'm going to challenge each one of us to take that issue. And I know enough stories from this that I believe that this absolutely works, because remember, love is the biggest power that there is. And if you have read that book of Power versus Force, it's wonderful. It talks about our energy fields and our different levels of from shame and anger, and you know the anger energy feels, all of that puts out. I mean, if you've ever been really angry, you notice the energy fields. I'm going to tell you something about an energy field. One time, my husband left, so I can tell it now. Tell it my way. So I'm writing a paper. Now, I'm writing a paper for minister school, so of course I'm in my very holiest place. And we have one of those early computers, the kind you put the thing in to boot it up. Some of you guys aren't going to remember those. And so I got it all booted up, and I'm working, and he comes in and he says something which probably was inappropriate. It wasn't me, I'm sure it was him. And I just got really mad, and I yelled. And this energy, have you ever just done that and you can feel this powerful energy coming out of yourself? I swear to God, that machine went blip, right? It was gone. It responded to that powerful energy force. Of course, it would pick up energy, or I don't know how they work. But it just died right there, right? And my paper was in the middle of it. You know, you had to save them on little thingamajigs. So our energy field is powerful. And the power of love is, aside from maybe being awakened and mystical awakening, is this energy field that is so powerful and is so broad. And when we live in that place and it goes out, and we try that and we go to work, and instead of regardless of how right we may be or we may think we are, and we begin to surround that with love, and we begin to try to see a different perspective. I try to remember sometimes if somebody's grumpy, maybe something horrible has happened in their life. I don't know. It's not mine to know, but here's what is mine to do. What can I do? Sometimes there's nothing physical that we can do. There's nothing that we can do job-wise. There's nothing that we have the power to do, maybe. But what we do have the power is to experience and surround that situation with love. And if you think that this is just church talk, go out and try it. Go out and try it. Surround that situation, that relationship, that job, that boss, that teacher, whatever it is. Begin to find a place to come from that, to make love visible in our work, in all those areas of our life. All I can say is that we need to try that, to practice it. So, I want to I had a wonderful quote from Eric Butterworth. You guys know how much I love Eric Butterworth. So, and then I want you to close your eyes with me for just a minute as we do something from Gibran on work. What an amazing individual. So, just take, I am going to ask you to just breathe deeply and go within, because there's something, when someone is so powerful and so amazing, there's something that comes through in their writing. And we can experience that through them. So just take a breath from the prophet. Then a plowman said, "Speak to us with work." And he answered, saying, You work that you may keep peace with the earth and the soul of the earth. When you work, you are a flute through whose heart the whispering of the hours turns to music. Which would you be a reed, dumb and silent, when all else sings together in unison? Always you have been told that work is a curse and labor a misfortune. But I say to you that when you work, you fulfill a part of earth's furthest dream assigned to you when the dream was born. And in keeping yourself with labor, you're in truth loving life. And to love life through labor is to be intimate with life, life's innermost secret. Often I have heard you say, as if speaking in sleep, "He who works in marble and finds the shape of his own soul in the stone is nobler than he who plows the soil. And he who seizes the rainbow to lay it on the cloth in the likeness of man is more than he who makes the sandals for our feet. But I say, not in sleep, but in the over-wakefulness of noontime, that the wind speaks not more sweetly to the giant oaks than it does to the least of the blades of grass. And he alone is great who turns the voice of the wind into a song, made sweeter by his own loving. Work is love made visible. And if you cannot work with love, but only with distaste, it is better that you should leave your work and sit at the gate of the temple and take alms of those who enjoy work. For if you bake bread with indifference, you bake a bitter bread that feeds but half man's hunger. And if you grudge the crushing of the grapes, your grudge distills the poison in the wine. And if you sing through as angels and love not the singing, you muffle man's ears to the voices of the day and the voices of the night. And so I will say to each one of us, while in the stillness, think of your own work. Think of that which you are called to do. Reminding us that there is no little or big in the mind of God. But work made with love outshines the darkest day. And so in this moment, I invite you to hold your hands in your lap. And think of something that is very difficult. Whether it is your work or your relationship or your school or your discovery of the deeper parts of yourself. Whatever it is in your life right now that is calling you to a greater expression, to a greater awareness, to a greater truth. Just hold that in your hand. And do notice how it makes you feel. There are no wrong feelings. There are only whispers of revelation. So look at that you are holding. No judgment. And now I invite you to just surround it with love. To affirm in your heart that that too is good and that too is love. We cannot do all things, but we can love. So just take a moment. So breathe deeply. Take and place that in your heart. And let it go. And together we release and we let it go. Namaste.
Kind friends all gather around. There's something I would say. What brings us together has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle and it holds us all inside, where strangers are all family and loneliness can't hide. So just give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter and Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I've walked the mountains in the rain. I've learned to love the wind. I've been up before the sunrise, and now watch the day begin. I always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. But like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. Just give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love will come in fire. It's planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it'll give you what you need. Love comes when you're ready, and love comes when you're afraid. It can be your greatest teacher, the best friend you've ever made. Let's sing it together. So just give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. So let's own this part of the song and let's sing, I give myself to love. I give myself to love. Love is what I'm after. I open up my heart to the tears and laughter and I give myself to love. I give myself to love. Now let's sing that again and let's put our hand on our heart. I give myself to love. I give what I'm after. I open up my heart to the tears and laughter and I give myself to love. 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 Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Love that song. And so we have ushers this morning.
Okay, this is another special time. Hasn't every moment been special today? The music, the message, all about love. All about love. In your program, you know, before we have the ushers come forth and do this, we're going to read the offering blessing, an affirmation. And it's a little different. I notice it's got some extra words in there, so read it carefully. We usually say it in a more lesser words, but let's read these words starting out with divine love. See that under offertory? Okay, divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. Isn't that great? Okay, I'll have some more music.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joys be so triumphant that we rest in God and
rest in God and say amen. We're just saying our hearts, spoken words out to the universe. And everything that you've given here this morning in your own gracious way comes to us in this house of faith, this place we call our spiritual community. And it goes to do good things. Every penny, every dollar, everything. Because it is endowed and blessed. And I think Reverend Julie spoke about that energy, that wonderful energy has just been infused in what you have just given. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to each one of you. Thank you for your support. Amen. And so it is.
And so now let's say our prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so we'll form our circle for our peace song, and be sure to go down and have soup, and then afterwards, our class will be up here in the library. And if you signed up, wonderful. If you didn't sign up, come on and change your thinking, change your life.
Singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Every day, every way, God is so good. Every day, every way, God is so good. Every day, in every way, God is so good. My God is so good to me. In my time of triumph, in my time of triumph, singing, God is so good. In my time of triumph, singing, God is so good. In my time of triumph, singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this this morning singing,
God is so good.
I got up this morning singing,
God is so good.
my God is so good. My God